Cancer. Hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early October 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Cancer Collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic. Let's get it going here. My guide spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the lovely Cancer Collective in early October? Please, beautiful time of year. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Cancer in early October. What's the vibe here? What's the energy for our good friends? There we go. Thank you. Nice and quick. I'll take it. All right, nice. The Helping Hands card. Now, this ties into several different things. It could really tie into rest and sleep. It could tie into spiritual protection. There's a lot of different ways that this card can go. And whatever way it goes, I like it. So that's a good thing. It's a card that doesn't show up too often. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the October subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk about this card a little more in depth. So we see this lovely lady all bundled up there. It looks like she's having herself a little nap, taking a little snooze, and she is surrounded by these hands. So first and foremost, huge card of spiritual protection for me. Whether it's God, angels, ancestors, spirit in general, they seem to be forming a protective bubble around her, which is really nice. So that could be very reassuring for a lot of Cancerians in this time. Be like, hey, you're not alone. You are protected. Someone is watching over you, which is a beautiful thing. You might be being guided, even if you don't realize you are. I call it the Helping Hands card for a reason, though, as well, because for some of you, maybe you need assistance with something. Maybe you're going through a certain time of life where you need someone to bounce ideas off of, or you just need some help. Maybe someone needs your help as well. It doesn't just go one way. So for some Cancers, don't be surprised if someone is like, hey, Cancer, can you help me out with this? I need a little assistance. So it's good for that. It does also tie into sleep and dreams and stuff like that. So if you haven't been getting proper rest, Spirit might want you to recharge those batteries and also watch your dreams, especially if you normally have vivid ones, because Spirit could be trying to communicate with you via dream. So we're just going to leave it at that. I feel like I could speak about this card for like 10 more minutes at least, but we're going to leave it there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the Cancers. What do we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled Big Karmic Change. Now, life is all about perpetual change, right? But this one felt a little more intense, and it felt like the universe and your karmic purpose was tied into it as well. So whether certain cycles are closing, certain new ones are opening, to me it felt like a pressure cooker where the universe is like preparing you for the next cycle. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Cancer in early October. Let's get them out. What do we got for Cancer, please? Thank you. Eight of Swords. A little tense, a little in the mind, a little in the head. That is okay. And this is an energy where it's like, all right, this too shall pass. I don't feel like it's a big thing yet. Let's see what else shows up. What do we got for Cancer, please? 9 of Swords. Okay. Who is so wound tight here? I mean, it doesn't just have to be one person. Let's get one more. Maybe this energy will ground itself down a little bit. And yeah, one shuffle and this card pops right on out. We have the beautiful Sun card, the most positive card in the whole entire deck. So hopefully there is some sort of breakthrough here. I'm like intuitively feeling that for some of you. There might be like some kind of breakthrough, which I think is really great. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know, I always look at the elements first. Very important. It tells us how the energy is moving and the areas of life it could be affecting. Now, I don't want to say unfortunately, but there are 2 elements that can sometimes clash with water signs. We have a lot of air. Okay, with the Eight of Swords, the Nine of Swords, and air element represents the mind, the logic. Not so emotional, but it's all in the head, right? And you see these two cards, they are very, very similar. So these could be two different people feeling a very similar thing, of course. But when I think of swords, I think of logic, planning, the mindset, how you view things, and it could also tie into communication. It's just so wound tight, though. So we want to see. And then we have fire on the back end with the sun. Now, fire is the realm of action, movement, passion, desire. This I kind of link to source energy as well. But when we mix fire and air together, it can be a little volatile. So we're going to have to see how all this plays out. I do like the ending so far, but let's go through this piece by piece and really start to build it out. Position number one, we start with the Eight of Swords. And as you can see, it's not the nicest looking piece of imagery. It's all good. We have this lady there. She is surrounded by eight swords in a circle. She is bound up. She is hoodwinked, blindfolded, and bamboozled. Okay, so of course, first and foremost, this is a card of someone being trapped in their own mind. Okay, this is overthinking, stress, anxiety, all that good stuff. So whether it's a specific topic that you can't quite get off your mind, again, this isn't the worst case because there are good things that tie into this card. It could also represent mystery, the unknown. Sometimes the energy feels trapped. Sometimes the energy feels cornered, like their hands are literally tied. But the good thing about this card, if it is a problem, if it is a situation, it's not permanent. It's like, all right, this will pass. Like this energy, it comes in quick and it goes quick. So to me, it's more of like a bump in the road. So if you've been doing pretty good lately, this is like maybe a minor setback. Okay, depending on how you let it affect your mindset. So super important. We'll take a look at this. Now, moving to the middle, very similar. And interestingly enough, this one also ties in with sleep. So all that stuff I was speaking about sleep, that goes double now. We have the Nine of Swords, and I always say you don't need to be an expert in tarot to understand what this means, right? We see this person, they're up in bed, hands on the face, they're stressing out, right? So like there's something that's really bothering this individual. Now, for some of you, maybe it is a little bout of insomnia. Maybe you're waking up a lot in the middle of the night. Maybe you're having some funky dreams. That could be a big thing here with this card, but it's just super wound tight, especially when we combine it with the Eight of Swords. It's like during the day, during the night, during the day, during the night. It's like a cycle. But again, it's a bump in the road here. Now, aside from that, I did say this might be two people mirroring a very similar energy, so don't be surprised if that's the case. But the Nine of Swords is also extremely sensitive to energy. I always say that. In its positive sense, it ties into the intuition, energetic sensitivity. So it's very important for the Cancers to protect their energy in this time, especially with this card. It also, yeah, links to the paranormal. So don't be surprised if you're having some more experiences that are unexplainable, more so than you normally do. But we will take a look at it. Now, moving to the very back end, we have a gear shift and a half because all this energy is all wound tight, bound tight. We have the sun, the most positive card in the whole entire deck. Now, this does link to Leo energy. Um, I tie it to source. So when I see it, it's like that light, life, and love that shines down on us from the universe, that beautiful spiritual protection. It's everything. When I see this, I think of wins, I think of victories, I think of blessings. It's all the good things that are showered upon us. So this is really great, especially when we come from this area of tension. I'm already picking up that there could be breakthroughs in different areas of life, whether they're internal or external. We'll just have to see. Now, the downside about the sun is that it could be a very intense energy. And when I get all these vibes up here of potential sensitivity to energy, and then we get the sun, it's like, okay, yeah, the energy is like really, really intense. So again, you might be dealing with some intense things, intense feelings, intense thoughts, which is okay. Because again, the energy seems to me that it's going to improve and get a lot better. The sun can also represent realizations, it can represent revelations, connecting the dots, things starting to make sense when things start to click. So, again, this could be a breakthrough, a revelation of some sort. We'll just have to see. But I want to dive deeper on all the Cancer. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for my friends. What's happening for my Cancer collective, please, guys? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Eight of Swords. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Cancer, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, let's get this Eight of Swords, please. Why is that Eight of Swords here? Thank you. Okay, it's like an invasive thought. Okay, so we have the Knight of Swords in reverse. It's like it just won't go. There's like something on my mind. It's just not going nowhere. It's not leaving. Now, there are methods and things that you can do about thoughts that you're not wanting to have, right? There's a lot of different steps you can take and things you can do. But when I see the Knight of Swords in reverse, it's like, all right, this is lingering a little longer than it should be. Okay, so again, I'm no judgment here with whatever I'm seeing, but there is like this thought process, this thought loop, or this invasive mind thing that's going on where it's like, all right, this energy should be on its way out soon, or at least this way of thinking. Now, the Knight of Swords, air sign energy, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, usually it's the fastest moving knight when it's in the upright. It's fast, it's aggressive, it doesn't slow down for anything. So when we see it in reverse under the Eight of Swords, it's stuck. So I would say in this time, watch out for thought loops, being too hyper focused on one thing. Maybe you just need something to distract the mind a little bit. That's a big thing I'm picking up here. Or whoever this is might need that. Because to me, it either feels like invasive thoughts or thought loops. Okay. Now, again, that's not where we're going to stay. There's still an energy that moves forward. There is a whole process. So we just need to see how it all plays out. But I would say just watch out for things like that. Maybe look up different methods to snap yourself out of thought loops like that. I mean, I'm not saying it's definitely you, it could be someone else. Very much on edge. Let's move over. It doesn't feel like aggressive or angry, it just feels nervous, on edge. But let's see what the Nine of Swords has. I really want to get to the Sun because I feel like all this stuff, yeah, it's going to pass. But let's see why the Nine is here. Okay. Yeah, there's a mirroring going on here. So a lot of the things, like if this is explaining or describing things you might be feeling or something you might feel in the coming week, it's not all yours. When I see the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, there is like a little bit of a mirror effect here. So you might want to like pay attention to who and what you're energetically and emotionally connected to in this time. Because yeah, the Nine of Swords with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, it's an energy that feels very shaky. That their sense of stability has been shaken up. It kind of feels like a tower. So, of course, with all this stuff going on, there could most definitely be a serious situation at hand or someone that's going through one. Because with the Nine of Pentacles, it's usually a card that's grounded, it's predictable, it feels safe, comfortable, secure. So when it shows up in reverse, especially under the Nine of Swords, it's like, okay, this is a situation that is either serious or should be taken seriously. But most definitely watch out for the energetic ties for you because I think for a lot of the Cancerians and maybe even some of the cross watchers, if you are feeling a little wound tight or these energies do creep in the coming days and weeks, a lot of it isn't even yours. Like to me, it feels like you're just empathetically feeling what somebody else is feeling. So let's just keep moving. Again, we got a serious situation on our hands, but I don't think it stays there. Let's keep going. So yeah, the stress, energy, all that good stuff. But let's see what's happening with the Sun. I've been looking forward to getting over to this Sun for quite a while. So why is it here? Yeah, and the breakthrough energy is here. So we have the Three of Pentacles in the upright. Yeah, the assistance. Funny how we had the helping hands card. So you have a lot more assistance than you think you do, or you might have more assistance than you perceive. So whether it's friends, whether it's family, whether it's energetic, like we saw here in the very beginning. When I see the Sun and the Three of Cups, it's like you don't have to go through something alone. So if you are dealing with any situations that are really super like stressful and you're really wound tight, just know that you don't have to shoulder all of this energy on your own. That's like very important. That's what's coming through. It's like many hands make light work. Same thing goes for situations or emotional things we're feeling. If we could spread it around a little bit, don't shoulder it all on yourself. Three of Pentacles with the Sun could also be a really great indicator for things involving work, business, what you do for a living, how you earn money. Really great for that. So that's a little side message for some of you. But to me, I have to stick with that initial message I was feeling right here on the top, that there is going to be a turning point. There's going to be a breakthrough moment where it's like, okay, things are reaching a fever pitch, things are intensifying, and then boom, the energy breaks through in a massive way. So whether it is with work, whether it is emotional and mental, for a lot of cancers, now could be a great time for you to turn the corner, figuratively, so to speak. So I really like this back end. I think it's nice, and it does feel like a breakthrough to me. So keep your eyes peeled for it. And it kind of naturally does what it needs to do. So let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow card. So, yeah, we got some stuff in the front that we need to keep an eye on, but the end is what we want to focus on because it's really beautiful, actually. But if you kindly look in the box position, number one, we have the Eight of Swords. Knight of Swords in reverse, especially with all this stuff on the front end. Yes, there's anxiety and nerves and all that stuff. But to me, this is more of like an invasive thought loops, stuff like that. You might want to find ways to cope with that. So whether it's keeping yourself busy or other thoughts that you can focus on when things start to enter your mind. It's someone that's in, I don't want to say they're in a spiral, but it's just like a thought loop. Moving to the center, we have the Nine of Swords with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. If you are picking up on this energy, it's not all yours. For some of you, it's not even yours. It might just be all the empathetic energy you're feeling from somebody else, because there is this mirror effect going on. So I know cancers are very in tune with energy. You might be extra in tune in this time. This also indicates that, yeah, there could be a serious situation going on or something that should be taken seriously. But at the same time, this energy is on its way out in a good way. Because when we get to the back end, we have the Sun with the Three of Pentacles in the upright. Great for work, great for business, great for group activities and endeavors. It's very social and nice. I did say for a lot of you, if you are going through some things, you probably have more assistance or help than you think you do. So whether it's in the physical world, whether it's in the spiritual world, there are hands ready to help you. That's how it feels to me. And this is also our breakthrough moment where things kind of reach a fever pitch, or things reach a certain intensity where it's like, you know what? I'm just not going to do this anymore. And the energy breaks through in a very positive way. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for Cancer. What's going on, my guides and spirit team? What do we got for the Cancer collective? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What do we got for Cancer? Please. What do we got for our good friends? Okay. Yeah, Knight of Wands. So another person, this doesn't technically have to be you, big fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Now, I like the Knight of Wands because he is an action card, very similar to this Knight of Swords. And if you're not tied to a fire sign, he's all about going off gut instinct. So this could be advice from spirit for some of you. I feel like for some of you it's advice, some of you it's a warning. For some of you, if you get the urge to do something, maybe spirit saying, hey, follow your intuition, Cancer. Maybe that's the right thing to do. Sometimes the divine does guide us through urges. Not all the time. You always want to be cautious and careful, but just know that if you have a craving or an urge, or you feel like you have to do something, maybe you do need to for whatever reason. But for another portion of you, this energy can be reckless. So I would just say, do what you need to do. Just be cautious, especially if things are like really intense right now. The Knight of Wands could sometimes fly off the handle. So don't do something you'll regret. That's how it feels to me. Either that or someone you're connected to is acting a little wild with this Knight of Wands in the shadows. But we're just going to leave it at that. So Cancer, that's what I have for you this week, my good friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give the details of the October subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation and book a personal reading with me, you could check out my digital calendar on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The October schedule is up there and it's filling up quick. So if you want to have a little chat, go over there and check it out. But for the October subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of the most stunning decks I've ever experienced, the Star Tarot. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments. Since last month, I asked everybody which zodiac sign they get along best with. This month, out of all the zodiac signs, which one do you clash with a little bit there? Drop it down in the comments. You'll be entered to win. And the winners will be announced in the community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.